The Democrats are doing what they have done, their way or the highway. Blank them. Same mentality as Obama. Here's where I think I think this is big, and all I'm saying is going to be a big news story over the course of the next week. And here's where I think it becomes big, as in wherever you are on it, whether it's an embarrassment or they're standing up for the victims, whatever the deal is. Certainly, let's not forget that any gun laws that would be passed, short of banning all weapons and coming in and taking everybody's guns, and shutting down all gun shops, what would any legislation they're proposing do for the Orlando situation? Nothing. None of these laws would have changed anything about what happened in Orlando. Right. The guy bought the guns legally. He is a U.S. citizen or was a U.S. citizen. None of this would have accomplished anything. Nothing would have been accomplished. But here's where I think this is huge. And say as you will, Christine, and you know.
Well, it's a vacation week for most people.
Listen,
most Americans don't even know that this is going on.
That's not true. It is not true. Okay. And they're stuck there. This is the beauty of this. They can't back down now.
Right.
They're going to go home and say, all right, we've changed our mind. We're taking the weekend off. If they do that, they look so stupid.
Well, but they get a cover on a magazine.
They'll
get a cover on a magazine.
That's my point. This is all about publicity. This is all about grandstanding for the midterm elections. That's what this is for the congressional elections coming up in November. And I'm telling you, it's what are they going to do? They're saying they're going to stay until July 5th when Congress reconvenes. Well, what are they going to do? Back away from this now?
Well, you really can't.
You can't. That's what I'm saying. This is what we're going to be talking about.
But it's going to be in the media week to do it.
Now through July 5th. No, it's the right week because they're off.
But
if
most
you did
Americans...
it when they're on, if you did it when they're on, anyway, I'm not going to sit here and argue about it. The point is, if you don't think we're going to be talking about it, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know how they back away. Andrew, is this Tanya Powers on the line now? I can't see anything here.
I believe so. He just went to the...
Tanya, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Good morning. What are you thinking here? Melee, anarchy, craziness, breaking the rules last night in Congress.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten some attention. That's for certain. I went on social media last night and I'm like, why is Steve Cohen sitting in the floor? Because it's gotten a lot of attention. Obviously not just from him, and he's the first one I recognized, being from Tennessee.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is getting a lot of attention this morning.
Now, how do they walk away from it?
That's a good question. I'm really not sure, to be honest with you. They've kind of put it all out there, and I guess it was like you said, it's either a publicity stunt, a last-ditch effort, or both.
Yeah, and you have to understand. I would think that there's no law that's going to be there's no bill that's even probably going to be voted on. Nothing's going to be passed. There's nothing that's going to be changed in terms of gun rights that is going to make the world any safer, this country any safer. This is all about trying to grab a hold of an emotional issue for the upcoming election in November.
Well, they're doing a good job of it. They've gotten attention so far.
Yeah.
I don't know now if anything actually comes of it. Anything productive actually comes of it. That's another story entirely. But I mean, even Paul Ryan said, "Look, this is nothing but a publicity stunt," and I think most people would agree with that.
Yeah. All right, Tanya. There was some talk this morning and yesterday about Social Security. And correct me if I'm wrong, if things go forward for the next 16, 17 years, within, 17 years, they'll not be able to pay out Social Security, at least at 100%.
Yeah, Social Security is projected to run dry in 2034 if it's stays on course, basically.
Yeah.
The other thing that we learned there's going to be an increase. That's the good news. The bad news is it's 0.2%.
That's
huge. Not 2%,
yeah.
0.2%. And the other thing that people need to understand, which will affect a lot of people on Social Security, if not, I guess, all of them at this point, maybe, Medicare is getting worse. And that is something that people need to be really, really cautious about and know about, because some people may even get those Part B premiums. They may go up for some people. It just kind of depends on, your financial situation, what you were earning when you were, when on Social Security, there's a lot of factors that are coming in, but that is something that usually gets lost in the headlines. A lot of people don't understand Part B. You will if you're ever on it.
Right.
I can tell you. But that is something that doesn't need to get lost here.
Meanwhile, there's a sit-in going on. While all of this is happening, there's a sit-in happening. Just crazy in Washington. We appreciate your time there, Tanya.
Sure.
Thanks. Tanya Powers, Fox News. What do you think of all this? You want to hear what they were singing last night on the floor? I think they changed the words. They did their own little song parody. This is the old, you've maybe sing this in church. We shall overcome. And I think they changed it like "We shall pass a bill" or something like that. I don't know what that is. Here they are chanting last night, the Democrats.
I would hope that the business of the House could be conducted in
This is Paul Ryan, of course, trying to regain
a
control.
fashion that respects positively on the dignity and the decorum of this institution to which we all belong.
This really is unprecedented for the House of Representatives. It really doesn't happen. You don't get the filibusters in the House.
Right.
You don't get any of this. This is completely unprecedented.
This is the gentleman from Kentucky, Mr. Rogers, seek recognition.
I just wonder what was going through the mind of Richard Hanna. That's all I'm thinking. Because he's already looking at this and saying that this is just nuts. Nothing ever gets done. It's crazy. What was he thinking
He
through
had
all
to have
this?
just been laughing. I can't imagine he's not just sitting there laughing at what's going on.
Here is what everybody's thinking about it. Conan O'Brien.
This is big. To protest the lack of gun control reform, congressional Democrats are sitting on the floor of the House. They're sitting on the floor of the House. It's amazing. Very dramatic. Yeah, the sit-in consists of more than 30 Democrats and 2 Republicans who thought it was a hot yoga class.
Here's Stephen Colbert on the issue.
Democrats have staged a sit-in to force action on gun control. Now, in response, and this is true, Republicans shut off C-SPAN's cameras, which really upset C-SPAN's viewer. In their defense, C-SPAN then tweeted, "C-SPAN has no control over the U.S. House TV cameras." What? C-SPAN doesn't control the cameras? If you don't control what we see, what do you span? I mean, if not controlling cameras, what does C-SPAN do? Is it a money laundering scheme? Are they a front for the world's most boring heroin cartel? I don't understand.
I just find this to be, in just the fact that it's so unprecedented. It is it's very interesting to watch, and also it gets even more interesting when C-SPAN shuts down the cameras and then they start periscoping.
Well, C-SPAN didn't shut them down.
But the cameras were shut down by Paul Ryan, and then the members began periscoping, and C-SPAN picked up the periscope feed. And you just have to understand, C-SPAN is, like, if you watch anything today, it's quick cuts. A shot here and then a shot here, because we're so attention deficit. If you don't change the shot every 5 seconds, people are going to get bored. So, but on C-SPAN, it's just basically a couple shots, and it's extremely slow. You know, you've watched it. It's like watching paint dry. But now they put on Periscope, and this is what you get. You got a representative there holding up a little camera, got his aide probably doing it, and the camera's shaking all over the place, and it's, everyone's right. Have you seen any of the feed?
Yeah, and I
it's
think
all
Cory
over the
Booker
place.
was one of the people, Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey was one of the people who
was holding it.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to if
they're just
Paul,
not good camera people. Let me just say that.
I'm curious if Paul Ryan's got like a big button that shuts all the cameras off, or if he goes and tells somebody to do it. I hope it's the button. I really do.
You know, though,
That's
that
it. No more.
you know this is going to be a bad broadcast when one of the House members stands up and says, "Hey, we could send it out over the book face." Let that sink in a little bit, and you'll know exactly they don't know anything about this social media, right? One more on Stephen Colbert.
The Democrats are demanding a vote before the 4th of July recess. And to send that message, they chanted, "No bill, no break," almost drowning out the gun lobby shouting, "I'll make the check out to cash." Republicans are already responding. Representative Tom Cole said, quote, "I don't think we should allow any group to bring the work of the House to a halt." It's true. It's true. You wouldn't want the gridlock to lose its momentum.
Anyway, there you have it. Interesting at the very least. Take it as you will. We'll break, Christine, with news coming up, and then this whole Stairway to Heaven issue over the copyright of the song Stairway to Heaven and that first intro. Was it a Johnny Rivers song? Was it Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin? Well, here's the word. They've come up with a song that's 400 years old. That's where they think Led Zeppelin stole it from, and I'll give you a little taste of that coming up. Christine with news is next on WIBX.